the Icons of Real Estate podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing Icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week with your host, Tomasz Fonseca, and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business, from $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters in Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO.
Hello and welcome back to the Icons of Real Estate podcast. I am your host, Timothy Gaetano, and today, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you'll have your notebooks, you have your snacks, your popcorn, because today we have a special guest, and he's on a mission. He's on a mission to change your life, to change the way you view real estate, and to change the trajectory of your real estate career. Ladies and gentlemen, he is 12 years in the game and he's still going strong. He is the luminary of real estate, Mr. Robert Reich. Welcome to the podcast, sir.
Hey, Timothy. Thank you. It's actually 24 years. You were half right.
Wow, way. I'm half right. 24 years in the industry.
I started when I was 8 years old.
While we were still playing with toys, you were already selling houses at that point. You already found your calling in life. Robert,
it was all surrounding technology of real estate, and that's always been my focus. It's always been my passion and my love, and I'm still doing it today. So thanks for having me. I appreciate you bringing me on.
We appreciate having you here. I know you're a busy man, so we appreciate you taking the time to be with us. But yeah, it's a good thing that we start off with that, because I want us to go back real quick. How did you get into real estate and why?
Way back in 2001, I started a company that was a scanning company, scanning a paper. So we would pick up bankers' boxes from a lot of different types of businesses, bring them back to our facilities, scan them, and then you put them online or put them on their computer system. Along the way, as I was looking for new customers, I called up a friend of mine named Bill. I won't say his last name, but I said, Bill, what do you do for a living? He says, I'm a title agent. And I didn't know really anything about title back then, but I said, I think you guys generate a lot of paper, don't you? And he said, we absolutely do. And I told him what I did, and that was the beginning of my entry into scanning for real estate. And scanning went by the wayside over the next several years. It was really good until about 2006 or 7. But then we pivoted and we went to pure online technology, and we started solving problems, which I'm sure you're going to ask me about, solving problems for real estate agents, for title agents, for loan originators, you name it.
Well, I mean, while you're on that, please do let us know. You said you were solving problems for real estate agents and title agents. What were the problems that they had, and how did you solve?
So one of the questions I would ask title agents initially was, do you get repeat business? When you close a homeowner today, and when they come back into the real estate market some years down the road, it could be a couple or more, do you get repeat business? And the answer was almost always, they said that we don't get repeat business. So then I started talking with the customers of the title agents, the realtors, the loan originators. I asked them the same question, Timothy. I said, do you get repeat business? And they said almost never. And I wondered why that was. And then I found why. Real estate professionals don't stay connected to their homeowners post-closing, their homeowner clients post-closing. They close the deal, and because they're busy, and in a market like this, where every day is an absolute slugfest, they don't take the time to stay in touch with their clients, their homeowner clients post-closing. So I thought if we could effectively do that, where the homeowner found value in the messages that they got post-closing, and we could figure out when they were coming back on the market, it would be a win. So there was a stat that is in past years put out by the National Association of Realtors that, I've heard different numbers. About 88% of realtors, about 88% of the homeowners would do business with their real estate professional again, but only about 10% remember who they were. They forgot that person, and that professional forgot them. So when I ask realtors, have you ever called back to your past clients and see if they were back in the market? And the answer I usually got was, yes, I started making phone calls. It was a great idea. And I was shocked as to the number of people that had already moved and I didn't even know it. I lost out on the deal. Yeah. So we started creating technology that effectively kept the real estate team in total, including the title agent, in front of the homeowner several times a year with valuable information, and the system would tell them when a homeowner was back in the market. And usually we would send an email to the realtor that looked like it came from the title agent. And it was their title agent finally, for the first time ever, being the source of a repeat business, of a new transaction.
Wow. That is genius, because any realtor will tell you this is where most of their business comes from, right? And for you to really go into that, you really set yourself for success. What were some of the challenges that you faced when you first got into the industry? What were the challenges and how did you overcome them?
Good question. Well, first of all, how do we get the information that we need to go forward? So I figured out a way, working with the various software platforms that are out there for title agents, to integrate with the title agent software. So we're primarily integrated with just about every one of them. Not everyone, but almost everyone. Second, if we're going to start communicating with homeowners post-closing, what are we going to say to them? And I saw some platforms where they were saying things like, Timothy, happy anniversary on the purchase of your home. Or Timothy, happy birthday. Or Timothy, remember to turn your clocks forward on Saturday night. Mm. The problem with that is the Timothys of the world, the homeowners of this world, don't want emails like that. Maybe one or two that leave me alone. So I designed a system that told homeowners something valuable that they wanted to know, needed to know, and appreciated knowing. So we started doing things like, here are the recent homes that sold in your neighborhood, on your street in the last 90 days. People wanted to know that. I told them things like, here's what your calculated mortgage balance is. Here's what your calculated home net worth, your equity is today. Here is what your home is worth today, with some sophisticated calculation models. So we sort of centered it around treating the home like it should be treated in this regard, as an investment. Right? We want the investment to go up. We want the liabilities to go down. And we want to be able to get the most bang for our buck when we sell. And when you look at other homes, how they're selling, how your home is performing, then that gives you the information that you need to know about what to expect when you sell, and maybe timing on selling. So we never sent spam. We never sent junk. We were always doing these fairly sophisticated calculations and bringing in other data that they wanted. It worked out really well. And every email I sent, Timothy, was co-branded. The title agent, the real estate agent, the loan originator, if it was a purchase, the loan originator, they were all on it with their pictures, their contact information. So when you got these emails, you were always reminded who your real estate team was. So they were not forgetting who their realtor was, their title agent was, the loan originator. Yeah. But that's not, you're going to ask me, I think, about how did I know they were back in the home. That's not how we knew. That's just how we stayed relevant. Oh, so can I tell you, can I give you the punchline?
Please do.
I thought about just putting a big button on the email that says stuff I need to know when I want to sell my home, but we didn't do that. What we did is we pulled in through the software integrations that we had the title documents, so the title policy, the recorded deed and mortgage, the note, maybe a survey, the closing statement. Usually those are the most important documents. And here's what I found out. If a homeowner was living in the home longer than 6 months, and they knew where their documents are, which is why we include links to them on every email that we sent. One of them is look at their real estate documents. When they did, it triggered an email to the realtor and the loan originator that looked like it came from the title agent. So back then, we were focused solely on title. The title industry loved it because they were finally that source of business, that really good, strong. It was really good.
One thing that I like about your strategy is each email was personalized. Like you said, you were not sending spam. What would be your advice to real estate agents today on just maintaining that relationship with clients? Because like you said, 10% remember their names, only 10%, and that's scary. And I can't imagine that being good for anyone's business. What would be your advice to realtors today on how they can manage their relationship?
Well, find a platform like mine, or you can contact me and you can use mine, but that's number one. Number two, bring any value add you can to them. There are other technologies out there that are extremely valuable. We've got a couple. There are certainly others that are out there. We don't have the market cornered on all the valuable or the value adds, but stay connected. And it's worth making a phone call every so often. Get on that habit of checking in with your homeowners and see, just ask them, hey, I'm not being the bother you. How do you like the house? Do you have any questions about the neighborhood? Is there anything I can do for you? Do you know anybody that might need my services? You might get a referral from that. So it's worth calling once. I would never do it. I'd do it once or twice a year and make sure that they've heard your voice, remember your name, and you stand a very good chance of getting their business again. The next thing I would do is today, LinkedIn is maybe one of the best value adds you as a professional can have. Why LinkedIn? Well, over Facebook or Instagram. The average income of the LinkedIn subscriber is over $100,000. And so if you've been selling homes to your clients and they're in that middle tier or that upper tier of income, then they're probably going to have a LinkedIn profile, and you definitely want to connect with them. And here's a new thing on LinkedIn that people may not know about that I use all the time. Yeah. You can go to my LinkedIn, Robert Reich on LinkedIn, and connect with me because I am taking advantage of the LinkedIn newsletter feature that's out there that delivers my newsletter that I write and that you could write right into the inbox, the email inbox, not just on the LinkedIn platform, but to your email. And you can send out a newsletter once a month, once a week, whenever you wanted. Let me caution you, don't send junk or spam. Tell them something that they want or need to know. It could be technology about the home. It could be about the market. There's tons of stuff out there. It's worth doing some research and finding out what's germane right now. What everybody's talking about interest rates and inflation. Keep people, talk to them at their level in your newsletter, keep them informed, let them know you care. And so LinkedIn, connect with them. You can send them direct messages, and this newsletter thing is just fantastic.
If you're a realtor out there, like I said, if you have your notebook right now, this is what you need to be writing down. I'm just going to take this time to quickly give a special shout out to the sponsors of today's episode, and that's the Icons of Real Estate Podcast Network. We make a real estate podcasting accessible. So if you want to get started with your real estate podcast, you know what to do. Just give us a call and we'll be happy to bring your podcast dreams to life. Now, my question to you is, if you were to start your own real estate podcast, what would you call it? In fact, let's ask Robert. Robert, what would you call your real estate podcast?
Yeah, that's a good question. So back in the prior to 2018, I had a podcast. Yeah. Unfortunately, I've been off the air because I sold my first company and left the industry for a couple of years, but I'm back. I'm glad to be back. I missed it. And I had a podcast called You Heard Me. So it was the letter U, heard me, exclamation point. And I would interview people from all walks within the real estate profession, from the underwriters to the title agents to the brokers to real estate agents. And we would, just like you're doing, this is a great job you're doing, by the way, Timothy. This is a great conversation. And we would talk about whatever they thought was valuable. And it gave them a voice, and I think they really appreciate it, and the listeners appreciate it. I was always trying to deliver, listen, value is the key. Deliver value. If you can do that, however you do it, you're going to be a winner.
Oh, wow. Well, so that's You Heard Me. And you heard it right. It's You Heard Me. So, hey, if you have a name for your podcast, comment down below, and we'll be happy to help you get started. Now, back to this awesome conversation. Now, you dropped some really important information on how people can actually use LinkedIn. I just thought you just use it for getting a job. I did not know this. So right now, we're in the age of AI, and a lot of people, I think there's two groups, there's two sides. You either fear what AI can do, or the fact that it might take your job, or you embrace it and you utilize that to maximize your efficiency and your business. Now, how can real estate agents deploy AI to their benefit?
That's a good question. So I'll tell you how I use AI, and I think the way I use it applies to a lot of different places. So the first thing is, if I'm going to write a newsletter or some other kind of mass communication, maybe I'm sending out an email blast. I like to use AI to help me come up with some talking points. So the AI doesn't write my content for me, but it will come up with some bullet points, so ideas. It goes out and it looks at the marketplace. I can steer towards real estate, interest rates, mortgages, whatever. And I'll say, give me some ideas about what people want to hear about today or read about today. And I use that as the starting point. However, if I get stuck on a certain paragraph, I'll ask the AI to help me. And it has sometimes not done a great job, and in a lot of times it has done a great job. So it does cut down on the amount of time to generate, let's say, my newsletter. It does help me with the accuracy of things that I quote. And in a spot, it can help me with some sentences or a paragraph for sure. So if you have a tough email to write, use it. Use it for ideas. Use it for an outline. When you have these hard questions and you feel like you're just stuck, no matter what it is, get on ChatGPT or one of the other ones. There's a bunch of good ones now coming to the foreground. I do use ChatGPT 4.0 and have it help you. Let it be your assistant. But that's what it is. It's an assistant.
Yeah. So you heard it, guys. ChatGPT is not taking your job. It's your assistant. So make sure you use it right. Now, you've been in the industry for so many years, and I just want to know, what is your advice to people that want to be like you? Someone is listening to this and like, yo, how do I get to where Robert is today? I know it's not easy, but what steps do I take to get to this level of success?
My dad always told me the secret to success is lasting. And if you can be in it for the long haul, then you're going to be doing the right things. And it may take some time. And it doesn't mean, lasting doesn't mean 24 years necessarily, like I am. But we had success early on, and it really helped. So every day, do something positive, deliver value, help somebody with something, get something. Some days, Timothy, I don't focus on my business. I focus on somebody else who's trying to grow their business and drive some value. Hopefully that's in the real estate industry. So I do give talks and seminars on how to use LinkedIn. That people don't know that you can automate getting your connections on LinkedIn. There's some bots out there. It's not AI, but it's bots. And I grew my first LinkedIn account to 10,000 title agency connections, purely title agents at first. And that was super helpful for me. So I've said it too many times already, I think, but if you can bring value and you can last, boy, I can't imagine anything stopping you, even in this market.
Even in this market, if you can bring value, you will definitely last. Now, Robert, I know there are a lot of people out there listening to this right now, want to get in touch with you. What is the best way for them to reach out and connect with you?
So I'm with a company called Voxtur now, V as in Victor, OXTUR. I'm leading the campaigns for several of their technologies, some of which were similar to mine in the past, which is why they reached out to me. And so my email address is robert.reich, REICH, at Voxtur.com, VOXTUR. And we got some exciting stuff coming out right now, Timothy. Can I tell you about one of them?
Hey, tell us. What do you have coming up?
All right, my new thing, deed fraud, the theft of homes is getting to be rampant. The bad guys, could be girls or guys, but the bad guys can walk into nearly any county recorder's office and record a quick claim deed on your home and effectively steal it or steal the equity in it, which is really what they do, by refining that house, by selling that home to somebody else with that quick claim deed. The county does not look at who's filing the quitclaim deed or the document itself and say that's a good recording or a bad recording. That does not happen. How do you stop that? Well, you can't stop the filing of a quitclaim deed. I don't think anybody can at this point. But we have a new technology called Equity Protect. You can go to equityprotect.com. It locks down title ownership. It locks down the home ownership of a home, just like you can lock down your credit, blocking any transaction from taking place. So if somebody tries to refi your house and get money out, they try to sell it to somebody else, we will block that from happening. And it's so good that we even put an insurance wrapper around it. So even if the technology, and I don't know how it would fail, I don't think that's possible, but even if it did, we're going to cover that homeowner. The sad thing is, just like back in the days when identity theft was new and extremely tough on people. Back then with identity theft, there was no way to undo what somebody did to you. They took out credit cards, they stole your Social Security. It was very difficult to unring that bell. Same thing with home ownership. There are people walking away from their homes who have been a victim to home ownership fraud. They can't unring the bell, they can't get their money back, and they just give up. Don't let that happen. Bring this value add to your clients. If you're a broker or a title agent or a lender, we have revenue share opportunities with this new product to get it up on its feet. And so you can take advantage of that for as long as we do. And I will promise you, we can block that deed fraud from happening.
This is something that a lot of people need. I think with this, you are definitely helping a lot of families. Now, one last time, for those that didn't get it, which website do they go to get this amazing feature?
So you can learn about it at equityprotect.com, EQUITYPROTECT.com.
Mm-hmm.
Don't sign up there. Contact me and I'll get you, and I can help you out and do even better for you. If you want a presentation on this, I do demos on this technology and all of our technologies every day. If you want to talk about LinkedIn, while I got you on the phone, we can talk about LinkedIn, and so we can make it a real, again, and I don't charge for LinkedIn conversations. That's one of my value adds. I have technology and services. That's my service back to the industry.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, if you are not writing this down, if you are not going to reach out, then I don't know what your priorities are. Because if I were you, I'll reach out to Robert right away. But wait, just after this episode first. You have to wait for this episode to end, and then you can do that. All right, Robert, like, you have been an amazing guest, man. 24 years in the industry, your contributions have been, I would say, they have a really big impact. And I think especially with what you're doing with equityprotect.com, I think it's something that's definitely going to help a lot of families. Because I can imagine what that is like, just knowing that your house is gone. That's what it is. It's gone at that point. Thank you so much for everything that you've done. And thank you so much for being with us today. It's just that we're out of time, but we'd love to get you again next time. Thank you so much, Robert.
Timothy, thank you. You do a great job. I do a lot of interviews, and this is definitely one of the best. So good for you. You're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, if this episode has added a lot of value into your life, and I know it did, why don't you add value into someone else's life? Rob did say, if you want to last longer, you have to add value. So add value in your social circle, in your family's lives, and share this with them. Trust me, they will definitely love you for this. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an amazing show, and I know this is one of those episodes you guys are going to have on repeat. Definitely enjoy that. I've been your host, Timothy Caetano, with the amazing Robert. Ladies and gentlemen, hey, we'll see you guys next time. Take care.